Join me on this 8 miles kayak from Llanrhystud to Aberystwyth on Cardigan Bay on the 17th September 2020. Cardigan Bay is one of the most unspoiled parts of the Wales coast and one of the richest in wildlife, including seals, dolphins, porpoises and seabirds. Watch on to find out about the seal colony that I encountered on this journey, logistics such as parking, public transport, launch and landing locations, information about tides, currents and other safety issues, and the history of the wonderful seaside town of Aberystwyth. This map shows my route. I launched from Llanrhystud beach at about 12:30 p.m. and paddled northwards up the coast about 8 miles, landing at the south beach at Aberystwyth at about 5:30 p.m. I'm by the pier in Aberystwyth, and the sight of a seal swimming across the flat sea looks like a good omen for today's paddle. I'm at the south beach in Aberystwyth looking towards the south. I'm going to get the bus down to Llanrhystud, weighing the distance and kayak back and land here later. I'm in Llanrhystud. I've just got the T1 Traws Cymru bus from Aberystwyth, so I've just got to walk about 2/3 of a mile now down to Llanrhystud beach. I've got a fairly light inflatable kayak in my backpack, so it's not too bad carrying it down the road to Llanrhystud beach. It's about 2/3 of a mile walk from Llanrhystud down to the beach, but there is in fact a car park at the beach if you just wanted to park there. I'm at Llanrhystud beach. I've just inflated my trusty Pro Aqua inflatable kayak, otherwise known as the Green Machine. I've just launched from Llanrhystud beach over there, so it's about 8 miles kayak up the coast now to Aberystwyth South Beach. Llanrhystud has a long pebble beach backed by 2 caravan parks, Morfa Farm and Pengarag. As you can see, there are some huge cliffs that plane up from the northern end of Llanrhystud beach as I look northwards up the coast towards Aberystwyth in the distance. Just turned around to look southwards back down the coast. As you can see, the long curve of Cardigan Bay stretching away to Newquay and Cardigan in the distance. Despite Aberystwyth being almost 8 miles away, because of the gentle curve of the coast, you can see it up there on the horizon. These towering sort of granite cliffs are quite a prominent and common feature of the northern half of Cardigan Bay. I find that as you paddle further northwards up the Cardigan Bay coast, the scenery becomes more striking and dramatic with granite cliffs. Well, it's coming up to 2 o'clock and I'm about 1/3 of the way along the 8 mile route, so I'm going to stop at that nice pebble beach over there and have a lunch break. In keeping with kayak crew tradition, I've stopped for a cider stop and a lunch break. Nice to get out and stretch my legs as I'm looking back down the coast. The go-in seemed to be a little bit slow, mainly due to the wind which seemed to be coming down the coast against me, as you can see from this wind test using a bit of my salad. It also didn't help that the tide was still going out and therefore running down the coast against me as well. The tide runs north to south on Cardigan Bay when it's going out. Well, I'm back on the water feeling rejuvenated and rested after my lunch and cider stop. There's a seal over there by the rocks. Oh, he's just dived under the water now. There's a seal over there in the water just this side of that cave, and there's one to its left now. In fact, there's about 3 or 4 just popping up out of the water to the left over by the rocks. There's another seal just this side of the rocks over there. This seems to be the seal capital of Cardigan Bay. There's a big fat light grey and white coloured seal over there on the rock with a seagull next to it and a couple of cormorants as well, which seem to be totally oblivious to the presence of the seal. There's so many seals here, there must be some sort of a colony that I'm passing by. That big seal on the rock over there looks like he's going to get in the water. As you can see, when I stop paddling, the wind is, and the current as well, probably the tide is pushing me backwards a bit. So that seal's going to go for a dip now. There he goes. I'm getting a little bit worried because the seals look like they're ganging up on me. There's about 4 or 5 popping up out of the water over there. This is quite a remote spot here. There must be nobody within miles of me, so if those seals do decide to turn on me, then I could become the first recorded seal attack fatality on Cardigan Bay. There must be about 6 or 7 more seals in the water over there. Hopefully they leave me alone though, because I'm just passing by on my way to Aberystwyth. There's definitely a big seal colony here, about 3 miles along this route. I remember seeing a similar phenomenon when I was paddling near Kenmaes Head, just south of Cardigan Bay, when I was surrounded by seals, even more than this actually. This seal has tried to sneak up behind me. Cheeky beggar, you're not so brave now, are you? There's about 5 or 6 more seals over by the rocks over there. They're probably wondering why there's some idiot in a lurid green kayak paddling out at sea. Well, the seals seem to have finally stopped following me as I head on further up the coast towards Aberystwyth. As you can see again, when I stop paddling, I do start drifting backwards about 1 mile an hour because of the outgoing tide and the wind as well. That big mast over there is the Blind Ploof transmitting station, which is roughly just over halfway along the route between Llanrhystud and Aberystwyth. Just a quick view back down the coast from where I've come from. Llanrhystud is way in the distance on the left. On the right you've got Newquay Head and Cardigan. The buildings of Aberystwyth are very gradually starting to become a bit clearer as I head up the coast. I'm almost halfway along the route now. This 8 miles journey on Cardigan Bay was part of the kayak crew's undertaking to paddle the 870 miles or so around the entire Wales coast. It's a huge undertaking and it's taken us to parts of the Wales coastline that we've never been to before. So I'm just over halfway along the route as I pass the mast of the Blind Ploof transmitting station. I've had to come a bit further out because it went a bit shallow here. The sea is lovely and calm today, a great day for paddling. I usually use surfforecast.com to check the swell before I go sea kayaking. While Cardigan Bay is of course tidal, it's nowhere near as tidal as some parts of the coast that we paddle, such as South Wales. So you can actually paddle against the tide, but it's better to go with it. What a great view back down the coast. The tide is just starting to turn and come in, so now I've only got the wind against me, and even that is starting to drop. And just when you thought you'd seen the last of the seals, I got the T1 bus from Aberystwyth to Llanrhystud this morning, although there is another bus called the T5. I far prefer doing linear one-way routes if I can. Less than a mile to go to Aberystwyth now. I've left my car parked in the car park on the promenade on the south beach. Over there you've got Timetable Beach on the south side of Aberystwyth, and above it there you've got Pendinas Hill with the Wellington Memorial on top. Pendinas has got the remains of the largest hill fort in Ceredigion on top of it. Over there you've got the sea wall where the entrance to Aberystwyth Harbour is. That's where the Ystwyth River comes in from the south side, and it joins the Rhyddol River that goes through the town from the north or left side over there. At Aberystwyth you can land either at the south beach like I did on this day, or on the north beach. If landing at the north beach, then you just need to be careful of the rocky outcrop just south of Aberystwyth Pier. There's a good view of Aberystwyth Castle over there on the left as I approach the south beach in Aberystwyth. Aberystwyth Castle was completed in 1289 apparently. It was subsequently established as a royal mint by Charles I in the 1600s, and as a result Cromwell had a go at it. If you want to download our free PDF guide of this route, then you can do so via our website link below. If you enjoyed, then please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing by clicking on the button on the left below to get updates of our trip reports and product review videos. Click on the right below to be taken to the videos of our other trips around the Wales coast. Happy paddling from the kayak crew.